Welcome to this video on understanding and implementing periodic review of users' identities and access rights. This is an important step in ensuring compliance with the ECC controls, which are a set of guidelines and best practices for protecting sensitive information. Periodic review of users' identities and access rights involves regularly checking that each user in your organization has the appropriate level of access to the information and systems they need to do their job, and that their access is still needed. This can be done manually or through automated tools. Examples of situations where you may need to review and adjust access rights include: an employee leaves the company, an employee changes roles within the company, an employee's job responsibilities change, an employee has been inactive for an extended period of time. Step-by-step guide to implement periodic review. Identify the individuals responsible for performing the review. This may include members of your IT or security team, or other designated staff. Define the scope of the review. This may include all users, a specific group of users, or a specific system or application. Establish a schedule for the review. This can be done on a regular basis, such as annually, semi-annually, or quarterly. Develop a checklist or set of criteria for determining if access rights are appropriate and still needed. Perform the review and document any changes made to access rights. Monitor access rights and activity regularly to ensure compliance. Performing periodic review of users' identities and access rights is an important step in protecting sensitive information and ensuring compliance with the ECC controls. By following the steps outlined in this video, you can implement a review process that will help keep your organization secure. Remember that IT security is an ongoing process that should always be reviewed and updated when necessary. When implementing the review process, it's important to have a clear understanding of the organization's information security policies and procedures. These policies and procedures should outline the roles and responsibilities of different staff members, the types of data that need to be protected, and the specific controls that are in place to protect that data. One key aspect of implementing periodic review is identifying the specific systems and applications that need to be reviewed. This may include enterprise-wide systems such as an Active Directory environment, as well as specific applications such as financial management systems, payroll systems, and customer relationship management systems. It's important to have a clear process for determining who has access to each system and application, and what level of access they have. This can be done by reviewing the access controls, such as permissions and roles, for each system or application, and documenting them in a spreadsheet or other tool for tracking. Another important step is to establish a schedule for reviewing access rights. This schedule should be based on the level of risk associated with each system or application, as well as the frequency of changes to the user population and the risk of potential threats. Once a schedule has been established, the review process can begin. A checklist or set of criteria should be developed to help identify when access rights need to be reviewed or adjusted. This checklist should include items such as determining if an employee is still with the organization, if their job responsibilities have changed, and if they have been inactive for an extended period of time. During the review process, any changes to access rights should be carefully documented. This documentation should include details such as the date of the change, the user who made the change, and the specific access rights that were changed. It's important to monitor access rights and activity regularly to ensure compliance. This can be done by reviewing audit logs and other system logs to look for any unusual activity or access, and by performing regular audits of the access controls to ensure that they are still appropriate. It's also important to emphasize that IT security is a continuous process and need to be reviewed and updated whenever necessary. Conducting periodic reviews of user identities and access rights is one important step in maintaining the security of an organization's information, but it's only one aspect of a comprehensive security program. Performing a periodic review of users' identities and access rights can be done both manually and through automated tools. Manual review. Manual review involves having staff members manually review access controls and user accounts to ensure that they are appropriate and still needed. This can be done by reviewing the access controls for each system or application, as well as reviewing user accounts to ensure that they are still active and that the users still have a valid business need for access. Staff should also review users' job role, responsibilities and access granted against them to check if any changes are needed. Automated tools. There are also a variety of automated tools that can be used to perform periodic review of users' identities and access rights. These tools can automate the process of reviewing access controls and user accounts and can flag any discrepancies or issues that need to be addressed. Examples of automated tools include Identity and Access Management (IAM) solutions. These tools can automate the process of managing access controls and user accounts across an organization. They can also integrate with other systems such as Active Directory to automate the process of provisioning and deprovisioning access. Security Information and Event Management (SIEM) systems. These systems can be used to monitor and analyze security-related data from various sources, including system logs, network traffic, and user activity. They can help identify any unusual or suspicious activity, which can be further investigated. Role-Based Access Control (RBAC) systems. These systems are based on the principle of least privilege and allows to assign permissions and roles to users based on their job role, responsibilities. These systems can help to ensure that users only have the access they need to perform their jobs, and can be used to review and adjust access rights automatically, based on changes to job roles or other factors. In summary, both manual review and automated tools can be used to perform periodic review of users' identities and access rights. Organizations can decide which approach is more suitable for their needs based on the size of their organization, the complexity of their IT environment, and the level of risk associated with the information being protected.